2023, Tim Laidler, EXCESV the VL, big unveil at Summernats, mate.
Yep, big unveil.
Big unveil.
High impact.
High impact. I'm kind of speechless, mate. Well, I do love VLs, not being biased there or anything like that. What we might do with Tim, we've got Tim here, we might take a bit of a walk around the car. What do you reckon? You can let us know a little bit of info about the, the engine package. It's very serious.
Yeah.
And the wheels and all the other stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah, cool. I'll flip this around.
Sweet.
Come to you, mate, and take us for a bit of a walk.
Awesome. So up front here, we've got the APM built 540 cube big block, Merlin 4 block, water jacketed, so we can go racing, do drag and drive. That was always the intention with this. 1471 PSI blower, making about 34 pounder boost to pump out 2105 horsepower on the engine dyno. The big carbon hat, that's sort of bit of a statement piece. No other reason except for we wanted to do it. You've
got to do these things, mate.
Yeah,
You've got to do these things. And it matches the number plate too, EXCESV.
It does. So it's all pretty EXCESV.
Exactly right.
So, yeah, as I said, it made 2,000 horsepower on the engine dyno at APM there. We want to drag race it. We want to go a high 6 second, low 7 second pass in this car. We've got the power there. It's steel rod still. So we've still got a little bit up our sleeve. So if we want to, we can put an alloy rod in this car, in this motor. Crank it up to 40 pounder boost, we should see 2600. Might have to move to a titanium valve to do it, just get a bit of weight out of that valve train. But if we want to, we've sort of got a little bit there to move to make it a little more serious.
What I think is really cool is the fact that people might think this is a show car. While it is at the moment, you do intend on really racing this car.
Absolutely. Like, this car has been teched. The cage was inspected during the build to make sure that we could run the times that we want to run in this car. So yeah, the car has been built. Like, we can move around soon to the underside of the car. You can see the chassis strengthening that we've done in order to get this car to where it should be to do the times that we want it to do.
Do you have an idea what sort of time you want to run? And also, let's maybe what sort of drag stuff you want to race in? Any sort of brackets or?
Yeah, there's the new category that Tristan, Ockers and Krieger have sort of come up with. Steel-bodied cars. They've
also got big cube engine?
Yeah, big cube. they've both those boys. So they sort of evolved from that Pro Street era, moving into a more serious drag level. And I think that's a really practical category these days. That's what a lot of these cars have evolved into. We were just speaking about Adam's Capri up the top there, 3,000 horsepower, but it's still a steel-bodied car.
Insane.
Where do you take those cars? They're not pro mods. They're nearly making the same power. What do you do with them? So I think this new category, indexed at I think 690. I think it's going to be great for cars like this. Yeah,
wonderful. I'm sure you really can't wait to get in and thrash it. And,
absolutely.
Not say dirty it up, but give it some stick.
Yeah. Like, so far we haven't started the car. A lot of people have asked what it sounds like, this or that. On the engine dyno, it sounded insane. We were actually blocking our ears from the blower whine, but we wanted to keep the engine bay, the paint really good for this show, and after this we take it into full drag mode. Yeah,
awesome. We might move around and just check out some of the wheels. Like, the combo wheels of this is absolutely insane. Yeah,
I think they really set this car off. I think that we originally built the car around a set of Simmons. We got 6 weeks out from Summernats, and I went, I don't want to unveil a car with Simmons on it. We've gone to the effort that we had with the car, and I just wanted something a little different. So we contacted GT Wheels up on the Gold Coast, and basically said, can we do it in the time frame? And he said, absolutely not. And Hinchy actually came up with the idea of, can we send you a set of Simmons barrels and lips, and you build the wheels inside of them. Because the car was built around the Simmons wheels originally. That's
really interesting, eh? Yeah.
So in 6 weeks we had the custom centers made, bolted together, and this is the package of wheels that we have today. Yeah, we actually looked and got the design off a stance car.
Yeah,
we saw a picture of a stance car. We're like, that is a killer wheel. That would suit the car. And
and the car at the end has got a really individual look. Like this,
it does. It's interesting. Everyone always says it's not overdone, and you look at the car and you think, how can people say it's not overdone? You got a 2,000 horsepower big block, a 13-inch wide tyre under the car. But I think keeping the factory styling with the colour, factory colour, the trim inside still trimmed in SV88 styling. I think it sort of tones down the really excessive parts of the car.
And maybe the number plate, the part that matches, is like you'll love this. It's actually a genuine SV88.
It is.
Actually, absolutely. But you know what? It's your car. I love it when people do this. You do what you want with it.
Yeah, absolutely. But like, in all fairness, Jay Benz, we picked this car up out of a paddock. It was a bare shell. It still had trim in it, but it didn't have a motor. It wasn't a matching numbers car. You know, like it's not like I started with an immaculate example. We got what we had, and I went, this is what I want to do with it. And it was an $8,000 shell when I bought it. We're not talking. I didn't pay $100,000 like they're worth now. I paid $8,000 for the shell.
And the great thing is that you've actually given the car a life again that it would not have had.
Absolutely, that car was going to waste in that paddock. So I mean, there's enthusiasts out there that don't like what I did with the car, but that everyone's got different tastes.
Exactly, Timmy. It's your car, mate. Let's maybe walk across here and have a look at some of the trim. Tell us a little bit about the interior and some of the ideas behind that design.
Okay, so that basically without the Kirkies, that is an SV88 trim. That's the colour of leather. That's the two-tone, even down to the SV stitching in it. That is exactly how an SV88 trim was. We've obviously added the race spec Kirky seats to it, harnesses, roll cage in there. Tried to hide the roll cage as much as we could in behind the pillars. M&M shifter. We're going to have air assist shifting, so we don't have to grab gears. Walkie style steering wheel. That's probably the only thing that we didn't get to was SV88s came out with a walkie wheel but was coloured blue. We've still got it in the walkie black, but I mean, other than that, the carpet's the same colour. It's all flat floored in there. You know, the floor pan's completely different. All the electronics are under the passenger seat there, which there are a lot of electronics on this car. So it's basically an EFI style car, computer controlled car with mechanical fuel. So we have all the data on this car for when we go racing.
How good.
Yeah.
Have we got Paul San over there?
Beep. Cut.
I'm sure people would love to know, fitting this big of a wheel under the back, but still having the capacity to be able to go drag racing in the other, you know?
Yeah, so we've notched the rail slightly. It's got a 13-inch wide wheel on it. Aaron, that's going to help us set this car up and drag race, it always tells me it hasn't got enough tyre under it. 13 inch is pretty big for a Commodore. Without putting a full rear clip in the car, that was as big as we could go. Got an anti-roll bar there to help us with chassis twist. You've got the track locator instead of panhard bar. So it's got a full floating rear end in it, so full drag racing spec rear end. That's a $20,000 strange diff under there. It's ready to go.
Yep, awesome. We'll come around the back here. We might talk a little bit, because what people you see on the outside, if you look underneath, which you'll see here, and you'll also see some of the B-roll, that it is very worked.
Yeah. Like as far as we go with custom fab, set up for drag racing, it's got everything we need. It's going to perform the way we want it to. We've got the exhaust all the way through. We want to do a lot of things with this car, and at some point I'll skid it. We want to try and get rid of as much of those gases from underneath, try not to have fires, so got the exhaust full the way through. Everything's fabbed up under there. Full chromoly diff housing, as I said, floater axles. It's ready to go.
Did you know that this car was an SV88 when you got it?
Yeah, I did, but I didn't actually know what an SV88 was.
Yeah.
My mate that sold it to me was like, they got walkie trim in it. That was the part that attracted me, that they had walkie trim.
We might just stick around this side, and that's what I was going to ask you about the paint. It was never going any other colour other than this blue?
No, so this is the original SV88 colour. We've got Dorwood blue on top, jewel blue down the bottom. Everything that bolts onto the car, your bumpers, all your Calais moulds, they're all one colour. The body is another colour. And because of that, you can see under the car, we've got the one colour here and the separate colour of the... So you've got two-tone even underneath the car because the body's one colour and the sills are different, So, but yeah, it was never going any other colour, Joe Benz. Like that's, it's the homage to the SV88. Yeah. I think LEs and SV88s were the only full colour match style car that came out from Holden in that era. So it's pretty cool, Like they were the upper echelon.
Very, very, very cool. Have you had a chance to drive the car like on this?
Nah, we haven't even started. As I mentioned, we got 4-inch exhaust there. A lot of painted surfaces on this car. Until we got it through MotorX, we never planned on this car to be a show car as long as it has been, but I think it was so well received.
Too good of a job, mate.
I just think it was so well received that we wanted to give it a bit more time. And I really think that once we start racing this car, a lot of things will happen to it. It'll transform it. It's going to get stone chips on it. It's not going to be a show car anymore.
It's very common though in this scene that you do the show scene maybe a year and a half, and then really race it.
Yep. Yeah, so MotorX was the goal for us, get it down here, show it here, then we get it back home. We got a Cohen Pro Mod style T400 for it that was 4 months late. So we planned on having it going for Summernats. Once the box sort of didn't show up, that sort of ruined those plans. We've got the box now, got a converter on its way. We'll get it going in the next 2 to 3 months.
Yeah, too good. If you want to check out Timmy's car, you can check it on the show scene for a little bit longer. I wouldn't say heaps longer, maybe a bit more.
Yep.
And basically, it's a showpiece here right at the entrance here at MotorX, mate. Well done for the build on the car, and we love seeing it at the shows.
Thanks, Dave.
Good luck racing.
Thank you very much,
Everybody check it out when it's on the circuit there, pumping times. What sort of time you reckon?
7.0, we'll go 7.0.
7.0 sounds good.
Yep.
Maybe a cheeky 6.99.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Too good. All right, thanks for watching.
Thanks.